Hello everyone and welcome to my latest Starfield character build, the Commander. This veteran is looking to regain her former glory among the stars and wash away the innocent blood which stains her past. The background I chose for this character is Space Scoundrel. I'm trying to move a bit away from the bounty hunter background, so I'm trying to strike a balance between one that provides helpful skills for the build and that also exemplifies the backstory that will be at the end of this video. The Space Scoundrel background will give you a single rank of the Persuasion, Pistol Certification, and Piloting skills. All of these come in handy, so no wastage here. For traits, I went with Extrovert, Taskmaster, and Hero Worshipped. You're always going to want to be travelling with a follower, so Extrovert just means you use up less oxygen at all times. Taskmaster will increase the cost of hiring crew, which can potentially come into play with this character, but it's well worth it for a chance to repair damaged ship systems for free. And Hero Worshipped is the trait that people have asked me to include in builds, so here it is. With this trait, the adoring fan will find you and beg to join your crew. On the plus side, free crew member. On the downside, he's the absolute worst. For this character in particular though, I wanted it to signify that she has done great things in her past. While some hate her for it, some clearly adore her for it too. On to skills, and I'm sticking to form by not having any skills in the physical tree. I swear I will one day, but today is not that day. In social though, we do have a fair few different skills. First is Persuasion. There are plenty of speech checks in the game, so this is always going to be handy. While this character believes that actions matter more than words, she also knows far too well that words can prevent actions from needing to be taken. Next skill is Scavenging, which will provide you more credits, ammo, and healing items. Honestly, can recommend this skill on every character because it's always handy to have. In a similar sort of vein, Commerce will improve your bartering, and this is a character who will need a decent bit of cash, so this is going to help you out. In total with these three skills, you want to reach 8 points spent, but the ratio is up to you. With these 8 points spent, you can now grab the Leadership skill, making your followers significantly more useful. This really does make them better in every aspect, and as a build that's not all that special in ground combat, you're going to want your followers to be able to assist you in a big way. Finally in social, we have the Ship Command skill. This increases the number of crew you can have in your ship, up to a maximum of 8. I only ended up with 3 ranks myself, meaning my crew was limited to 6, but the more the merrier, and you'll want to max out this skill in order to max the crew capacity. Onto the combat skills now, where all I have is Pistol Certification. Pistols are the weapon of choice, so this will just make them a little bit better. Ground combat isn't the focus here, so not much else to say. And when it comes to science skills, I have even less to say, as I have no skills here. Which means we're pushing straight onto the tech tree, where you know I've invested a lot of points. First is a single rank of boost pack training, cause who doesn't like to jetpack around? I then went and maxed out Piloting. This character uses a custom built Class C ship, so all the ranks are needed, both for building and flying the ship. You'll then also want all 4 ranks of shield systems. This will grant you 60% more shield capacity and also a chance for your shields to not take any damage. Absolutely perfect skill for this build. And finally, we have Starship Design. This unlocks more options when building your ship, and the number of ranks you need depends on how you want to build your ship. I personally had 3 ranks here, as that was all I required. In terms of equipment, we're starting with weapons, and in this regard, you simply grab whatever pistols you can find. When it comes to fighting on the ground, you want your followers to be pulling their own weight, so give them the bigger guns, and leave yourself to pick off enemies that get past. When it comes to spacesuit, pack, and helmet, it's a similar case of just whatever works, and hoping for some good random effects. You can hide your helmet and spacesuit, which is what I'd recommend with this character, as your apparel piece is the SysDef formal uniform, which fits the vibe of the character so well. This is how the character should look, and also ties into the backstory that I've written. When it comes to the spaceship for this build, you're going to want to build your own battle station. This should be a big, tanky craft, with enough space for your entire crew to comfortably live aboard. The kind of vibe with this ship is a military carrier or something like Star Trek's Enterprise, a big spaceship which serves as a home for the soldiers on board. I'm not going super deep into what I built here, as I have already recorded a ship build video for it. It will be releasing on Sunday, and I go super in depth, so make sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications if you want to see that. In terms of factions, there's a few you want to focus on. First is with the United Colonies. Join up with the Vanguard, do the first mission, and you will then be sent in two different directions. One is to join up with SysDef and do some undercover work, and the other is to continue on with the Vanguard and investigate your own findings. For this character, you want to do both of these, doing your duty for the United Colonies however you can. But you're not blindly loyal to the UC these days. You know all too well that the colonies need to be reined in somewhat, and so you'll also want to join up with the 3-star Rangers, helping them keep their land safe and ensuring the UC doesn't decide to start another civil war. By joining both sides, you can help to keep things balanced, and also keep worlds safe for everyone. Followers are a big deal with this character, so you're going to want to collect them like their Pokemon. Start off by getting all the members of Constellation to help you out, and then start looking for more crew members who will improve your ship in noticeable ways. You have a lot of space for crew, so you should always have your ship at max capacity. As well as your crew, don't forget you'll also want someone to travel with you on your adventures, so don't just assign everyone to the ship and then forget to have anyone tag along with you. The main focus with this character is space. You want to be spending a lot of your time flying around in space, taking on the Crimson Fleet, saving stranded explorers, and grab jumping around the systems. The ship I built for this character was super tough to take down, with a focus on outlasting enemies in a fight rather than being too fast to catch or super manoeuvrable to dodge between asteroids. Instead, you should just be flying straight forward, taking enemy fire on your shields and picking them off one at a time until the danger has been eliminated. Ground-based combat is less of a focus with this character, but here you're a pistol build, so you're going to want to be fairly close range and be fast on the trigger finger. Try to focus on the weaker enemies, thinning out the herd so that the stronger foes can be ganged up on by you and your follower. The commander served the United Colonies loyally for many years. She worked her way up through the ranks of the military, going from a fresh-faced recruit to a battle-hardened commander in charge of her own ship as part of the imposing UC fleet. She felt proud of her accomplishments, knowing in her heart that she was doing her duty and helping citizens across the land. But there was always a sense of regret lurking back there. She gained her command during the colony wars, and while she knew her loyalty was to the UC, there was an underlying belief that this war wasn't right. Deep down, she knew that neither side was truly in the right, and her true hope was that peace talks would happen to end things. But that wasn't her place. She was a soldier, and her role was to follow orders and lead the UC to victory. She was present during the Battle of Cheyenne in 2311, and watched as her side was torn apart by the 3-star ships. Under her control, she kept her ship and her crew alive, fighting off the enemy with admirable skill. Despite this, the battle was a decisive loss for the colonies, and would spell the end of the war, with the armistice being signed soon after. While the commander was glad the war was over, it came with some bad news. Those involved in the Battle of Cheyenne were to be held accountable for their actions. The UC had wiped out many civilian craft on that day, and rumours circulated of harsh punishment for those involved. While not one of the leaders in the battle, the commander was still high-ranking enough to be involved in the trials. In the end, a trio of high-ranking military officers took the brunt of the blame, and were sentenced to execution. But the lower-ranking officers, such as herself, didn't get away completely free. While she was not technically deemed guilty of any crimes, she was nonetheless dishonourably discharged from the military, as an additional measure to placate the 3-star collective. She was marked as a villain for her role, despite the years of loyal service. And thus she was left alone in the universe, with no crew, no friends, no one to really call her own. She fell from a strong commander in the UC to a simple civilian, left looking for a place among the worlds. For nearly 2 decades, she lived primarily off of what was left from her military earnings. She had been sensible and saved up and was able to live a modest life for some time, occasionally picking up what part-time jobs she could to help. But ultimately, the money ran out. There was no pension with a dishonourable discharge, and there came no choice but to try and find a new job. Given her old age and past background, most employers were unwilling to even give her an interview. It wasn't until she came across Argus extractors that she was ever even considered. The work would be backbreaking, dangerous, and wasn't guaranteed to pay that well. But it was a job, and one where she would no longer have to be alone. And there we have it. If you enjoyed this build, please do leave a like. Also, if you have any friends playing Starfield, please do let them know about my channel. I'm trying to build up my Starfield community as much as possible, and I'd love to have more of an audience to discuss this game with. I do also have a Discord and Twitter, both linked below, if you want to hear what else I'm up to or join the larger community, and also don't forget to subscribe so you can see future videos when they come out. As always, thanks for watching. Sarge out.